My name is Kaci Lickteig. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm all about running.
Kaci, what prompted you to want to run this event and this 100-mile event in particular?
I've ever since the race started back in, was it 2011? I had noted about it, and the 100-mile has always been on my bucket list ever since college. And I was thinking, if I want to run 100 miles, I don't want to just run 100 miles. I want to experience one. And I knew how challenging this course was going to be, and I love the Black Hills. I've been up there for Sturgis before for the motorcycle rally, and just getting to sightsee out there at that time. And I just knew that would be such a beautiful course to run on. And then finding this race, it was going to be do or die. So I decided on this one, and definitely the Buffalo Skull was a big motivator too.
You shattered the women's record by 7 hours, and you were only 7 minutes behind the overall leader. Now, what did you have any expectancies coming into this race, time, places, etc., or did you just have a strategy that you stuck to and whatever came out, or what was your what were some of the things that you kind of went through?
I honestly was going into this race having no expectations but to finish. I had no idea what to expect. My whole time I was thinking within myself is to run at a comfort level, run within your own means, and not to run somebody else's race. And so the whole time I just wanted to stay comfortable, and I kept waiting to experience something bad, but I really never had any bad experience.
What got you into running? What got you started in running? What kind of got you into this, just running in general?
I started back when I was in high school. I was a volleyball player for my freshman and sophomore years, and then my best friend decided that she wanted to run cross country, and she had been, and she didn't want to run it alone, and so she somehow talked me into going up for cross country within the last week of our summer vacation. So I had no training going into running, and I started running the cross country stuff, and I had to walk basically every single race up the hills because I was not very good at all at the hills. And for some reason, it just started to get me more inspired to know that I was doing better for myself. Like, my times were getting faster eventually, and I still remember the time I was able to run my very first course without walking, and it was not that great, but for me it was like the biggest achievement I've ever made. And then my mom, she ended up quitting smoking at that time and started running to make that her health, fitness, and everything. So I decided to start running with her, and from there on it just kind of became my passion, and I just kept going with it.
You qualified for the Olympic trials in 2012. Now,
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what you did to prepare for the qualifying for the Olympic trials versus what you did to prepare for this particular event. What are some differences, similarities?
Definitely, I'm a high mileage runner, so I still, for Olympic trials and for the Black Hills 100, I ran, around probably average 115, 120 miles a week. For the marathon, I was doing a lot more speed work, and I was running with Christy Nielsen from Omaha, and we did our speed work together, and so it was a lot different. Like, we were doing repeats on trail, like just on the bike path trails and things like that. Versus this, I was just doing consecutive, like, long runs back-to-back on weekends. I did my first 100K in preparation for this. Otherwise, it was just kind of running more trails for the Black Hills, but we have nothing compared to in Omaha compared to the Black Hills. But I still think just the technicality and the footings and everything, it helped to run trails. Training more in the heat of the day, in doubles. I did a lot of doubles.
Now, Do you have any favorite pre-race or post-race snacks that you like?
Before every race now, I eat a banana and one of those like a stinger bar. So it's either the rocket chocolate or the peanut butter one. That's my mainstay for each race beforehand. And then afterwards, after I start to feel less nauseous, I'm a sweet eater, so I'll eat any type of like cookies, candy, you name it. I like that kind of stuff afterwards.
Hypothetically, if you were to run this event again next year, what are some things that you might do differently now, having been experienced in this and doing as well as you did? Is there anything that you would change? Anything you'd do differently?
I would definitely train with my water bottle a lot longer because my shoulder felt like it was off by the first Nemo aid station. I want to take my shoulder and replace it right there because it hurt so bad, and it still hurts today. So definitely, I'm going to train a lot more with carrying my water.
Now, what are some of the experiences that you had on the trail? Some memorable experiences, some memorable spots that you had on the trail while running this event? Because you said you kind of wanted to take in the experience.
I did. I remember, and we were up on one of the ridges where he said to look over my shoulder to kind of look at the beautiful landscape, and I was doing that while I wasn't paying attention to my footing, and right there I just fell, crashed and burned onto my side, and it was pretty funny because I just got up and I was like, well, that was great. I got to pay attention now to where I'm running instead of all the beautiful scenery. And then another section, it was one of the gated sections where we had to either open or climb over the fence. Well, when I went through it the first time going out, it was open. So I didn't even think of it. When I went back, it was closed. And I was coming up to it, and I was like, I'm a farm girl. I grew up on the farm, so I'm thinking I'll just, climb over it and jump over it. Well, I started doing that, and it opened on me, and I about fly off of it. And there was another runner coming towards me, and I'm pretty sure he got the biggest laugh out of the whole race right there, seeing me about get taken out by a gate. So that was pretty exciting to me.
Okay.
And just all the great, road races are a lot different than trail races. You can actually converse with people and really get to know them, and it's so much fun to meet new people and see what they're racing. That's a huge thing that intrigues me about trail racing.
Kaci, when did you ever realize you were that close to the lead? And then, if so, what were some of the things that you were thinking about? Yeah, did you ever feel that you were that close to the lead, or that knew that you're that close to the lead person?
I did. Basically, every time I went from the turnaround on, they were aid station to aid station was telling me how many minutes away I was from Jeremy, and at that point, I didn't care. I was like, I don't care. I just need to know that I can finish this. I'm not going to try to burn myself too soon, and I really could care less if I am second, first, last, you name it. I just wanted to first 100, and it was pretty funny though, because a lot of people were just saying, you can catch him, you can catch him. I said, the only reason I wanted one to catch him is to run with him at night, because I'm scared to death of the dark. And so, it had no intentions in my mind that I was even that close, or even would be that close going into this race.
What did it feel like when you crossed the finish line?
Oh my gosh, I had so many emotions just hit me all at once. The first thing I did was grab my mom because she was there at the finish line, and I gave her the biggest hug, and I just told her, I said, I just ran 100 miles. I just was floored. It's just something, it's hard to think about. It's hard to wrap your brain around that, and it was very emotional. I just had to cry and just praise God, that I was able to do it, and it's such an amazing experience to be able to complete something like that.
Okay, now this is another pretty important question. What's one of your favorite TV shows?
I like Amazing Race. I'm a big follower of that one. And Modern Family. Those are my favorite.
Okay. You know, because people need to know that. You know, anybody who's training for this 100, they need to know what your favorite TV show is, probably.
It's very important.
Yeah, it is important. Do races like this, people talk about low points. Did you ever hit any low points mentally? I mean, I know physically everybody's hurting at some, you know, you're running through the pain, but what did you have anything pre-planned to deal with that, or was it just something that came naturally due to your running experience?
I did hit a low point. It was right after the Elk Creek, the last aid station at Elk Creek, when I went back to go down to Bulldog, and I was alone in that section for about after 2 miles, because I had been running kind of with a 100K runner, and then after I had went on, I was in the dark and it was scaring me to death, and I just kept thinking of mountain lions coming after me. That was my biggest fear. And so I was just getting really scared, and it just felt like I was really alone at that point. And I calmed myself down after I just kind of started praying to myself and just saying, I just got to keep going. The next aid station is going to be there. And when I came into Bulldog aid station, the 2 volunteers helped me tremendously. I'm not sure who they were, but the guy that was there talked to me and said that he'd seen one mountain lion his whole time that he's ever been out on the trail, and he said that thing was more scared of me than I was of it. So not to be worried. You're almost to the road. And he kept telling me you should see the interstate there soon, that you don't have anything to worry about. And it just completely eased myself. And after that, I knew I had only about 10 more miles to go, and I said, I can do this. I can run 10 miles in my sleep if I have to. You know, I'm going to be able to finish this. And so that gave me the biggest confidence boost, was to have somebody reassure me that I was fine. I wasn't going to get attacked, and it was just very, very helpful.
Do you have any plans for running any other events like this after doing this one, or what do you have? You said you did 100K. Do you plan on doing any 100-milers within the next 6 months, next year? Kind of.
Potentially right now, I'm planning to run Twin Cities Marathon this fall. Hopefully try to attempt qualifying for trials again. And then I really want to run Bandera in January. The 100K.
Advice, maybe with some words of wisdom as an experienced runner that you would like to give to someone interested in running the Black Hills 100.
I would definitely say know what works for you for hydration and nutrition, and stay on top of it. It really can get you through the race itself. Also, again, like I came from Omaha, Nebraska, which you can't really find hills like the Black Hills, so you don't have to necessarily train on the most grueling hills possible to be able to complete something like the Black Hills. Because I really didn't have anything even comparable to it, and I was still able to run it. And you know, like they always definitely walk the hills that you have to, and walk early, and just stay within yourself. So don't run somebody else's race. Know what your comfort level is. Know and be really aware of your body, and just knowing are you breathing too hard, or is it feeling like it's too much effort. If you're giving out too much effort, then definitely take a step back and slow down, recollect yourself, and continue on, and just forward progression. Don't stop, just keep going.